Okay, so today we're going to be like diving into this whole world of 3D virtual tours.
Okay.
Like where it feels like you're actually walking through a place,
Right.
not just like clicking through, those flat photos online.
Yeah, yeah.
And we've got a ton of info here from 3D RoomScapes.
Mhm.
They're a Chicago-based company, and they're doing some really interesting stuff with this technology.
Yeah, they're really tapping into something that's, changing how we experience places remotely.
Yeah.
It's not just static images anymore.
Yeah.
It's fully immersive. Like, you're right there.
Right. And their website, it mentions Matterport a lot. Like they've created over 800 virtual tours using it.
Yeah.
But what exactly is Matterport?
So
Is it the camera? Is it software?
it's actually both.
Oh.
It's like the whole package, the high-tech 3D camera system,
Yeah.
and then the software that takes all those images and stitches them together to create those like crazy realistic virtual tours.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like Google Street View, but instead of driving down the road, you're walking through a building.
Oh, that's cool. And they're not just doing like houses, are they?
No, not at all.
I saw some examples on the website. There was a boathouse.
Uh-huh.
I think it was in Ingleside.
Right.
And even a restaurant called El Barrio in Mundelein.
Yeah, they really get it. 3D RoomScapes.
Yeah.
They understand that this technology, it's not just for real estate.
Yeah.
Imagine like hotels letting you virtually step inside rooms before you book a stay.
Oh, wow.
Or retail stores offering online shoppers like a full 360-degree view of their products.
Right.
The applications are really pretty diverse.
Yeah, and they even talk about web analytics, which sounds a lot more technical than just like pretty pictures.
That's where the real business value comes in,
Yeah.
3D RoomScapes.
Mhm.
They emphasize how these tours can actually track how people move through a space,
Really?
how long they look at something, what they click on.
Wow.
It's amazing the insights a real estate agent can get about what features are really grabbing a potential buyer's attention.
That's gold. And they're also pretty upfront about like the competition in this space. Like, they even urge potential clients to really scrutinize different companies' work.
It's a smart move, I think.
Yeah.
The fact that there's competition tells us that this technology, it's gaining some serious traction.
Right.
But like with anything else, not all virtual tours are created equal.
Right, of course.
And that's where 3D RoomScapes, highlighting their Matterport service partner status, is really key.
So is that like a stamp of approval or something?
More than that.
Okay.
It means that they've gone through specialized training directly from Matterport.
Wow.
And they stay updated on all the latest advancements because, this technology
It changes so fast.
is constantly evolving. So
Yeah.
you really need someone who's not just keeping up, but they're on the cutting edge.
So it's like anybody can go out and buy a fancy camera, but it takes skill
Right.
and expertise to really use it to its full potential.
Exactly. And when you're talking about presenting a property or a business in the best possible light, especially in today's digital world,
Yeah.
that level of expertise, it makes all the difference.
Speaking of expertise, let's dig into how this translates into like tangible benefits for businesses.
Okay.
What are some specific ways that they're using these virtual tours to gain a competitive edge?
Well, 3D RoomScapes actually has some really compelling examples on their website.
Oh, cool.
Like they did some work with a local furniture store. So they created this virtual tour that let customers not just see the furniture, but actually like virtually place it in their own homes using augmented reality.
Oh, wow.
Talk about a game changer for online furniture shopping.
Yeah.
Customers can actually see what a sofa or a dining set would look like in their living room.
Right.
No more guessing based on just like a static image.
Wow, that's next level stuff.
It is.
No wonder 3D RoomScapes is really pushing that whole Matterport service partner thing. It's clearly about way more than just knowing how to like work the camera.
Yeah, you have to understand how the technology
Yeah.
can be applied to these different businesses.
And you mentioned those web analytics earlier.
Exactly.
3D RoomScapes is using that data to help businesses actually see how customers behave in those virtual spaces.
That's right.
So it's like having a virtual heat map or something,
Yeah.
showing where people are clicking, what's catching their eye, how long they're looking at something.
It's amazing.
It's so much more insightful than just like knowing that someone glanced at your website.
Oh, absolutely. It's light years beyond that.
Yeah.
It's like you have this window into how people are interacting with a space, even if they're miles away.
We've talked a lot about real estate and retail,
Uh-huh.
but what about other industries?
Yeah.
I feel like I remember reading something about architecture, maybe even healthcare.
You're right. 3D virtual tours are already making a big impact in those fields.
Really?
Imagine this. Instead of just looking at like blueprints,
Right.
an architect could take a client on a virtual walkthrough of a building.
Wow.
Before a single brick is even laid.
Wow.
And they could even make adjustments in real time.
Really?
Based on the client's feedback.
Wow.
All within that virtual environment.
That's wild. That's so much more immersive than trying to picture a space from just like 2D drawings.
It really is.
And what about healthcare? I mean, that feels like a totally different world.
It is, but it's definitely ripe for this kind of technology.
Yeah.
Imagine surgeons practicing complex procedures on like a virtual patient before they ever step foot in the operating room.
Wow.
Or a physical therapist using a virtual replica of a patient's home to create personalized exercises for their environment.
Okay, now you're getting me really thinking. Like, the possibilities are kind of blowing my mind.
And honestly, we're just scratching the surface here.
Really?
Think about education, for example.
Okay.
Virtual field trips to museums or historical landmarks.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Or even virtual tours of a college campus for students who are thinking about applying.
Yeah, that would have been amazing when I was applying to college.
Yeah.
Like, we're on the edge of a technological revolution here.
I think so.
It reminds me of when the internet first came out and nobody really knew how much it was going to change everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just like those early days of the internet,
Yeah.
there are definitely going to be some growing pains.
Right.
And a learning curve for both the people creating this technology and the people using it.
So if someone's listening to this right now and they're thinking, okay, this is all really cool, but how is it relevant to me?
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
I'd tell them to think about their own lives, their work, what they're passionate about.
Okay.
Is there a place, a product, an experience that you wish you could share with other people?
Right.
In a way that's more immersive than just like showing them a picture or a video.
Yeah.
3D virtual tours have the power to bridge that gap.
Yeah, they can connect the physical world with the digital world in a way we've never really seen before.
That's right.
And with 3D RoomScapes' focus on web analytics, businesses aren't just creating these cool experiences.
Right.
They can actually measure the impact, which is so important in today's world.
Absolutely. They're not just creating visuals. They're giving businesses the tools to really understand their audience and engage with them in this new way.
So it's not just about the technology itself.
Right.
It's about how it's used.
Like that.
And who's using it.
It's a powerful combination.
It really is. It makes you wonder, though.
What's that?
As this technology becomes more common, how is it going to change the way we see and interact with physical spaces?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah, like it's almost like we're so used to thinking about like digital spaces as being totally separate from, the real world.
Right.
But what happens when those lines start to blur?
It's a really interesting thing to think about. Are we going to start to see virtual experiences as like more important than actually being there in person?
Right.
Will it change how we think about space and distance?
Yeah. And what about industries like travel and tourism?
Oh, yeah.
Will a virtual tour ever really replace like the feeling of actually being somewhere?
Those are questions that we're going to have to keep asking as this technology keeps developing.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to remember that these virtual experiences, they can make our real world experiences better.
Okay.
They're not necessarily going to replace them.
Right. Like I might look at a hotel room online before I book a trip.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean I don't still want to actually go there
and
experience it for myself.
Yeah. And that takes us back to what we were talking about before, the importance of expertise.
Right.
Remember 3D RoomScapes?
Yeah.
Talking about how important it is to really look at the quality of different companies' work. Because as this technology becomes more common, it's going to be harder to tell the difference between a really immersive, well-made virtual tour and one that just kind of falls flat.
Because like a bad virtual tour,
Right.
that's probably worse than not having one at all.
Yeah, it could be really disorienting, misleading, even off-putting.
Oh, yeah.
But a good virtual tour, one that's created by someone who really gets it,
Right.
who understands the technology, the art of it, the business side of it, that could be really powerful.
So basically what you're saying is don't underestimate how much this technology is going to change things.
Exactly.
And pay attention to the quality because not all virtual tours are created equal.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Right.
Whether you're trying to show off your property, you're a business owner, you're just curious about this stuff, it's definitely something to watch.
This has been so interesting.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
My pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring.